family's history is deeply entangled with both a European influence and an indigenous influence that has really, I think, crafted our identity.
Yo recuerdo creciendo cuando yo iba a la escuela, siempre me gritaban los niños y me decían, tú eres un indio feo.
Es ella.
Y lo que aprendí era de que esa parte de mi identidad no iba a ser celebrada en mi cultura latina. Siempre se nos hace creer que el ser indígena no es algo bueno.
Everyone that's from Puerto Rico, yes, you can have Spanish ancestors, yes, you may have Taino indigenous ancestors, but you also have African ancestors.
I identify as a Black Latina, and there's a lot of friends that would say, you're not Black. And then I'd have to go and argue that the first ships of enslaved people landed in Brazil and in the Caribbean. Who is anyone to deny me my Blackness?
It was within my grandmother's memory that the whole Southwest, including California, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, Utah, all were part of Mexico. So my grandmother, born in 1891, would think of California as Mexico en el Norte. So we're talking about essentially a recent loss of a third of the territory of Mexico to the United States. And why young people say, we didn't cross the border crossed us.
My family, they're very pro-America, and that we should assimilate in those
ahorita
times,
voy.
of course. But they also believe in not forgetting where you're from.
I'm an American, proud to be an American citizen, and I'm also Puerto Rican, proud to embrace and celebrate my heritage.
My great-grandfather was a sugarcane plantation worker. And I say that with a smile, I don't know why, because that's tough work for 50 cents a day.
My dad was a policeman, LAPD, 30 years, always emphasized education. You're going to college, you're going to school, blah, blah, blah. I'm not paying for it, but you're going to college.
I didn't want to go to school, and I was probably like 14 years old, and I was starting to rebel, and my father showed me his hands, and he said, so you know what I know? You could either choose to work with your hands, or you could choose to work with your brain. A lot of us with disabilities or differences, I believe, feel we have to work twice as hard to get half as far.
I was the first one in my entire family to graduate with a bachelor's degree.
People had this impression of who goes into science and engineering, who becomes an astronaut. And it wasn't anybody that looked like me. And because of that, people that you meet, often professors in college or people that you work for, they don't have very high expectations of you. Even though there are people that discourage you along the way, there's also been wonderful people who've been very encouraging as well.
The number of Hispanics attending college, whether 2-year or 4-year institutions, has reached a record high. And particularly for Hispanic women, 1 in 5 of those ages 25 to 29 have a college degree.
I think it's really hard to do a description of the Latino community in sort of one sweeping statement.
In and of itself, it's a wonderfully diverse community. And I'm not sure non-Latinos actually realize that.
Pretending that a Mexican is the same thing as an Argentinian is as ludicrous as saying someone from Brooklyn is the same as someone from Texas.
To be a Latino in Argentina, it was one thing. To be a Latino here, it was quite different.
Not all Latinos speak Spanish. Not all Latinos are Catholic. Not all Latinos are brown. Not all Latinos like spicy food, you know?
There are plenty of Latinos that are Black, Latinos that are white, Latinos that are trans and queer, and Latinos that are cis and straight. There are Latinos that are Republicans and Democrats. And the point is that there is no one Latino experience.
And any time you try to think of this community as monolithic in some way, you're going to get it wrong.
We're an ethnicity. We're not a race. We actually are all races. That's why when you come across a group of us, you really can't pinpoint what a Latin look actually is.
And yet so similar. At the same time, I know it's complex.